Welcome back, friends. If you've joined us before, thank you for your continued support, and if you're new here, we're glad to have you with us. In our first episode, we introduced the cosmic connectivity paradigm, a sub-theory of the rivers of life flow theory. We touched on concepts like telepathic communication, shared frequencies of consciousness, and a vast universal energy network. Today, we focus on shared frequencies, the backbone of telepathic communication. Understanding these shared frequencies is like discovering a hidden language that binds us all, a language that has the potential to transform how we perceive and interact with the world, and possibly beyond. We'll be covering a few key points in today's discussion: the concept of shared frequencies and how they facilitate telepathic communication, how the rivers of life flow theory provides a basis for this understanding, the metaphors that make this intricate concept more relatable. Our conversation today matters because it uncovers another layer of our interconnectedness, showing us that our thoughts, emotions, and actions are not as isolated as we might believe. By exploring this, we're taking another step toward understanding the profound interconnectedness proposed by the cosmic connectivity paradigm. Let's begin, and remember, we are explorers on the path of understanding, and every step we take brings us closer to the truth. The nature of frequencies. Let me first give you an introduction to frequencies. When we think about the rhythm of the universe, the ebb and flow of life, it's essential to understand the role of frequencies. Much like a song on a radio station or the pulse of a heartbeat, everything in our universe has its rhythm or frequency. These frequencies are not just random sequences, they are unique signatures, distinctive patterns, a kind of universal music that permeates existence. They are deeply connected to the energy we see, feel, and experience every day. From the rhythm of our heartbeats, the pattern of our breath, to the vibe we feel from people or places, we are interacting with these frequencies all the time. In the next part, we will see how these frequencies fit into the rivers of life flow theory and how they play a role in our understanding of thoughts and emotions. Frequencies and the rivers of life flow theory is next. Brandon's rivers of life flow theory offers an understanding of these unique signatures. Within each river, the flow is more than just energy, it's a unique frequency that distinguishes it from other rivers. This vibrational fingerprint, so to speak, provides a means of identifying and understanding each flow in the grander scheme of things. For instance, think of a drop of water in the ocean. To the naked eye, it seems indistinguishable from the enormous ocean around it. However, if we could measure its precise energy signature, its unique frequency, we could identify that particular drop amidst the entire ocean. Our thoughts and emotions also carry unique frequencies. This means they have a specific song or rhythm that can be discerned if we attune ourselves properly. In the context of telepathic communication, this concept becomes fascinating, as it suggests we could tune into these frequencies to understand and possibly share thoughts and emotions, much like tuning a radio to the right station. Now we will focus on frequencies and thoughts or emotions. Shifting our focus closer to home, we find these frequencies at play within us every day, manifesting as our thoughts and emotions. Have you ever been in a room where someone walks in, and without them saying a word, you feel the atmosphere change? You might not consciously register it, but you're picking up on their emotional frequency, which can be positive, neutral, or negative. Just as sound or light frequencies can resonate or clash, so too can the frequencies of thoughts and emotions. They shape our inner experiences, influencing our moods, perceptions, and reactions. This is why surrounding ourselves with positive thoughts and emotions can lead to a harmonious inner state. Similarly, when we are in a negative state, we might find ourselves drawn to certain types of music or environments that resonate with our emotional frequency. This is not just a metaphor, it's the real impact of frequencies on our thoughts and emotions. If this influence is so strong within us, one can imagine the potential it holds when it comes to telepathic communication. Shared frequencies. As we've established, our thoughts and emotions emit unique frequencies. But what happens when these frequencies start to overlap, to resonate? This is where the concept of shared frequencies enters our discussion. Imagine a flock of birds moving in harmony, changing direction as if a single entity. This unity in action is not dictated by a leader, but emerges from the shared instinct, a shared frequency among the birds. In the realm of human experiences, we often find ourselves naturally gravitating towards people who share our mindset, our emotional state, our frequency. For instance, when you're in a joyous mood, you're more likely to resonate with someone who's also happy, as opposed to someone who's gloomy. Now, let's take this idea a step further. If we, as individuals, can naturally sync with others on a similar frequency, could it be possible to intentionally adjust our frequency to tune in to another person's thoughts or emotions? This introduces an intriguing avenue for telepathic communication. Practical implications. So, we've introduced the idea of shared frequencies and how they might serve as a conduit for telepathic communication. Now, let's take a moment to consider what this means for us in our daily lives. Let's return to our earlier example of birds in flight. Each bird adjusts its movements based on the bird in front, leading to a ripple effect. This concept of resonance, of shared frequency, isn't limited to birds. It's found in schools of fish, herds of deer, and even among humans. Have you ever noticed how being around someone who is cheerful can lift your spirits? Or how a room can feel heavy when there's tension? This is shared frequency in action. But what if we could be more than passive participants in this process? What if we could consciously adjust our frequency, and in doing so, influence the frequency of others around us? Could we potentially tune in to another person's thoughts or emotions, paving the way for a new form of communication? That's a question the cosmic connectivity paradigm seeks to explore. As we continue, we will dig deeper into these concepts and see how they may give us a new perspective on telepathy, shared consciousness, and the interconnectedness of all beings. Now it's time to talk about visualizing frequencies. We will start with an introduction to metaphors. Let's first understand the power of metaphors. Metaphors have a unique ability to create connections and deepen our understanding. They can serve as a mental bridge, guiding us from familiar grounds to uncharted territories. By using metaphors, we can translate abstract or complex ideas into forms that are simpler and more relatable. In essence, they become tools to illuminate the unseen and bring clarity to the vague. Consider the term frequency. On its own, it might seem cold, abstract, distant. But connect it to a radio dial, a musical note, or a pattern of emotions, and suddenly it begins to make sense on an intuitive level. That's the power of metaphor, and it's how we'll make our way through this field of shared frequencies and telepathic communication. Let's set out on this voyage of the mind, not just by charting a course through the waves of science and philosophy, but also by allowing the currents of imagination to lead us into new waters. As we progress, we'll find metaphors as our trusted guides, helping us navigate the landscapes of thought and emotion. Now let's imagine frequency as a radio station. Imagine for a moment the human mind as a radio, capable of tuning into a multitude of stations, each representing a different thought or emotion. The stations are numerous and varied, each broadcasting its unique blend of music, news, or chatter. It's a bustling soundscape, alive with diverse frequencies, just like our mind. Similarly, our thoughts and emotions are multifaceted. They span a wide spectrum, akin to the array of stations on a radio dial. At times, we might tune into the soothing melodies of joy, love, and peace. On other occasions, we may find ourselves immersed in the chaotic static of fear, anger, or sadness. Just as we can change the radio station by adjusting the dial, we can shift our mental state by consciously choosing which stations we tune into. And it's here, in this deliberate tuning, that the magic of telepathic communication might become a possibility. Now let's consider what happens when two radios are tuned to the same station. They receive the same broadcast, the same music, the same news. Could it be the same for us? When we tune our minds to a specific frequency, could we receive the thoughts and emotions broadcast on that frequency? If two minds are tuned to the same frequency, could they share a mental connection? These are the questions that lie at the heart of our exploration. As we seek answers, remember that this is not a rigid science but an open exploration. We're charting new territories, exploring the outer realms of consciousness and connectivity. Emotional symphonies are next. Consider for a moment a piano with its array of keys. Each key produces a unique note when struck. Alone, a note has its individual character, a distinct sound. Combine a few notes and you create a chord, a harmony, or sometimes a dissonance. Our emotions are quite like these musical notes. Each emotion is unique, with its own sound or feel. Love might sound like a warm, comforting note. Anger could be a harsh, jarring sound. Just as playing a single key on the piano gives you a note, experiencing one emotion gives you a singular note in your emotional landscape. But just as we seldom play single notes in isolation on a piano, we seldom experience one emotion in isolation. Our emotional state at any given moment is more like a chord. It's a blend of different notes. We could be feeling a bit happy, somewhat anxious, slightly annoyed, and a little hopeful all at the same time. This unique blend of emotions forms our emotional chord for that moment. So, if we extend our radio metaphor, these emotional chords could be the unique broadcasts on different radio stations. They are the distinct patterns of thought and emotion that we broadcast out into the world. And if we can learn to consciously shape these chords, we might be able to tune in to a shared emotional broadcast, a shared mental connection. If we extend our understanding of tuning radios to the same station to this concept, then telepathic communication doesn't seem quite so far-fetched, does it? Patterns of frequencies. Imagine now that each moment of our lives is like a note in a grand symphony, with the combination of emotions we feel playing out like a beautiful, intricate melody. Over time, these melodies form patterns, or songs, that encapsulate our overall mental and emotional state. Just as a song composed of many notes and chords can express a range of feelings and ideas, so too does our emotional song express the complexity of our inner state. This song is our unique signature, a combination of thoughts and emotions that is distinctly our own. And just as a radio station broadcasts a particular song, we broadcast our unique song into the world through our thoughts and emotions. Our song becomes the signal that is tuned into our personal radio station. Now, suppose we could consciously control this song, shape the chords and melodies to match another's. We'd be tuning our stations to the same song, the same frequency. In doing so, we'd create a shared mental and emotional space. This could be a new understanding of telepathy, a different perspective on how we might communicate at a level beyond words. The implications of this could be profound, opening new avenues for empathy, understanding, and connection. Visualizing the invisible. Having this understanding, let's shift our focus. Consider the invisible world around us. The air filled with radio waves, Wi-Fi signals, cell phone communications, and countless other invisible signals. These are real, tangible, yet invisible to us. Now imagine if our thoughts and emotions, our songs, are also part of this invisible world, swirling around us, interacting, intertwining, and interconnecting. Although we can't see these frequencies with our eyes, using metaphors such as radio stations and musical notes makes it easier for us to comprehend their existence and their potential impact on our lives and connections with others. And that, my dear friends, is the magic of metaphors. They help us perceive the invisible, sense the intangible, and dare I say, even touch the ethereal. This understanding makes the prospect of telepathic communication, previously thought of as only in the realm of the fantastical, more real, more conceivable. By using these metaphors, we can start to think about how we might shape our song and maybe even tune in to the songs of others, bridging gaps in understanding, creating empathy, and deepening our connections. Tuning in is up next for our discussion. The concept of tuning in. We often use the phrase tuning in our daily life, be it about tuning in to our favorite radio station or podcast. But have you ever stopped to think about what tuning in really means? This is where our musical instrument and radio analogy comes into play. Imagine you're holding a guitar. When you strum an untuned guitar, the sounds are off-key and dissonant. To make the guitar produce harmonious sounds, you tune in each string to a certain frequency, which we identify as notes. When all the strings are correctly tuned, they vibrate at their set frequencies, and the guitar produces beautiful music. Similarly, think of a radio. When you adjust the knob, you're essentially scanning through the spectrum of radio frequencies until you tune in to the one that broadcasts your desired station. Once tuned, you can clearly receive and interpret the signals that were always there in the air around you, but were just static noise before. In the context of our discussion, tuning in can be seen as aligning our mental and emotional frequencies to resonate with others. But unlike the radio or guitar, here we are, the instrument, the operator, and the receiver all at once, the resonance of thought. As we've seen, tuning in is about aligning frequencies to establish a connection. Now, let's extend this concept to our thought processes. It might be a little challenging to think of thoughts as frequencies, so let's take a step back and consider what a thought really is. At its most basic, a thought is an electrochemical reaction happening in your brain. This reaction produces energy, and as we know from our understanding of physics, energy is directly related to frequency. Now, each thought is unique, sparked by our individual experiences, perceptions, and reactions. Therefore, it is reasonable to conceive that each thought generates its own unique frequency. In essence, when you think a thought, your mind is producing a unique melody in the symphony of consciousness. So how does resonance come into play? When two individuals consistently think similar thoughts or have similar emotional experiences, they are generating similar frequencies. Just like two instruments playing the same note in harmony, these similar thought frequencies can resonate with each other, creating a stronger, amplified signal. This shared resonance, this connection of harmonious thought frequencies, might form the basis of telepathic communication. Aligning emotional frequencies. Next, let's think about the role of emotions. Similar to thoughts, emotions also generate energy, and thus, their own unique frequencies. It's not just a metaphor when we say someone's happiness is infectious, or a room is charged with tension. These are real energy exchanges that we, as intuitive beings, can perceive. When you feel an emotion, it's like casting a pebble into the lake of your energy field. The ripples extend outwards, altering your overall vibrational state. Now, if someone else is in a similar emotional state, they're creating similar ripples in their own energy field. When these fields interact, they can amplify each other, leading to a strong shared emotional experience. So, just as thoughts can resonate, so too can emotions. Sharing a laugh with a friend, feeling the collective excitement at a concert, or even the shared sorrow at a loss. These are examples of emotional resonance we might experience in daily life. Now imagine if we could tap into and intentionally direct this capability for emotional resonance. It could potentially offer another dimension to our understanding of telepathic communication. Conscious control is up next. Moving forward, let's consider conscious control. This refers to the ability to deliberately regulate our frequencies. One might ask, how can we consciously control something so intangible, so abstract as our energy? The answer lies in practices that have been part of human culture for millennia. For instance, prayer, meditation, mindfulness, and similar introspective practices serve as exercises in controlling our internal states, and by extension, our energy frequencies. When we meditate, we're effectively learning to still the lake of our mind, to minimize the disturbances on its surface. In doing so, we're controlling the ripples in our energy field, smoothing them out to reach a state of equilibrium. With continued practice, this can enable us to consciously dial in to specific frequencies. It's like learning to play an instrument. At first, it may be challenging to create the desired sounds, but with consistent practice, we gain better control and can produce the right notes more easily. Similarly, with sustained introspective practices, we might gain more control over our energy, potentially enhancing our capacity for telepathic communication. In this way, traditional practices, often seen as spiritual or esoteric, have tangible implications in the modern understanding of consciousness and communication. Challenges and obstacles. As we explore this exciting landscape of conscious control and telepathic communication, we must also acknowledge the challenges that lie in the path. The first hurdle comes from our internal psychological barriers. Conditioning, past experiences, and unexamined fears could create blocks in our energy field, preventing us from freely aligning with other frequencies. Then there's the lack of understanding and awareness. We are in the early days of comprehending these phenomena, and widespread awareness about the subtleties of energy dynamics is relatively scarce. Our societies don't yet fully support the cultivation of these abilities, so many people may struggle with accepting and understanding them. And of course, there are misconceptions. With any pioneering field, there's the potential for misunderstanding, misinterpretation, and misuse. Therefore, we need to be cautious, discerning, and committed to ongoing learning and evolution. These challenges, while substantial, are not insurmountable. As we expand our understanding, refine our techniques, and deepen our awareness, we may find that these obstacles become less daunting. With courage and open-mindedness, we could potentially unlock a new era of connectivity and communication. Real-world examples. We have often heard stories of individuals experiencing a deep sense of connection, understanding, or even communication without the use of conventional means. Mothers reporting that they instinctively know when their child is in danger, even if they are miles apart. Friends or partners finishing each other's sentences or having the same thought at the same time. These experiences, while anecdotal, suggest a potential for shared frequencies. Moreover, many practitioners of meditation and mindfulness report instances of heightened empathy or understanding, as if they can feel what another person is experiencing. Some even describe it as feeling or knowing the thoughts or emotions of those around them. In the scientific realm, studies have documented phenomena like emotional contagion, where emotions seem to spread among groups, or the Rupert Sheldrake experiments, suggesting a form of telepathic communication in animals. While the science is still evolving, and these experiences cannot yet be conclusively defined as telepathic communication, they certainly provide food for thought. They invite us to consider the potential of the cosmic connectivity paradigm in practical terms and ask important questions about our understanding of consciousness and connection. Now we move to the role of consciousness. First up, defining consciousness. When we mention consciousness, what comes to mind? It is an elusive concept, one that has been the subject of countless philosophical debates and scientific inquiries over centuries. In the context of the rivers of life flow theory and the cosmic connectivity paradigm, consciousness takes on a threefold meaning. The first aspect is self-awareness. It refers to our ability to introspect, to observe our thoughts and emotions as they arise and pass, understanding that we are not our thoughts or emotions, but the observer of them. Self-awareness is akin to being the riverbed, witnessing the flow of water, but not being the water itself. The second facet is awareness of others, recognizing that just like us, others are also complex beings with their own thoughts, emotions, and frequencies. It's like understanding that there are other rivers out there, each with their own unique flows and paths. Lastly, we have awareness of our surroundings, acknowledging that we exist within a larger context, an expansive ecosystem that comprises not just other beings, but also the physical environment, societal systems, and the universe at large. This is the recognition that our river is part of a vast ocean. In sum, when we talk about consciousness within our theory, we are referring to a state of heightened awareness of self, others, and the world around us. The layers of consciousness. Let's now explore the different layers of consciousness. Picture an iceberg. What we see above the water's surface is just a fraction of the iceberg's true size. Our consciousness operates in a similar way. The subconscious mind, the part of the iceberg below the water's surface, houses our deepest memories, learned behaviors, and automatic responses. Much like the flow beneath the surface, the subconscious has currents that we might not be consciously aware of, but still guide a significant part of our thoughts and actions. Next, we have the conscious mind, the part of the iceberg visible above the water. This is the level of our day-to-day awareness, the thoughts and emotions we actively experience and engage with. It's the ripple on the surface of our river, caused by the winds of our immediate thoughts, reactions, and decisions. Then there is the superconscious, often likened to the universal or collective consciousness. This is the realm of intuition, deep wisdom, and profound understanding that transcends our individual mind. You can think of it as the clouds in the sky, from which all the rivers receive their water, connecting us to a greater whole. Understanding these layers is crucial for our exploration of shared frequencies. As we navigate from the subconscious to the conscious and aspire to tap into the superconscious, our perception of these frequencies can change, offering new possibilities for communication and connection. Mindfulness and consciousness. Building on our understanding of the layers of consciousness, let's now explore the role of mindfulness. Just as a boat needs a skilled captain to navigate the rivers, our consciousness requires mindfulness to steer through the currents of thoughts and emotions. Mindfulness is about being present, being in the now, free from distractions. It's about observing our thoughts and emotions without judgment, recognizing them as passing clouds rather than identifying with them. Our consciousness, like a river, is constantly flowing, changing, filled with different thoughts and emotions. It's easy to get swept away. Mindfulness, however, allows us to anchor ourselves in the midst of this constant flow, to stand firm and observe the river's course without losing ourselves in it. By nurturing mindfulness, we can become more aware of the subtle shifts in our conscious and subconscious states. It allows us to notice the whispers of the superconscious mind, tune into the shared frequencies, and potentially engage in forms of communication beyond the conventional. Mindfulness, in essence, enhances our conscious antenna's ability to detect and tune into the shared frequencies of thought and emotion. Consciousness and frequency perception. Having understood the importance of mindfulness in navigating the flow of our consciousness, let's go into the realm of frequency perception and its connection to our consciousness. Imagine you are tuning a radio. When you adjust the dial, you are looking for a specific station, right? You navigate through static and various signals until you find the right frequency that matches your desired station. This act of tuning in is an act of conscious intent and attention. Now, let's apply this analogy to our consciousness. The frequencies are the shared thought and emotion signals that traverse the cosmic network. As our state of consciousness elevates, our radio dial, if you will, becomes more sensitive, able to perceive a broader range of these frequencies. In more advanced states, individuals might not just perceive these frequencies but recognize them, understand them, and intentionally tune into them, much like tuning into a desired radio station. It's in these states that we hypothesize the potential of achieving what could be termed telepathic awareness, a state of heightened consciousness where one can perceive and engage with shared frequencies. This possibility offers a glimpse into the untapped potential of human consciousness and frequency alignment. When we talk about consciousness and the potential for frequency perception, another facet to consider is frequency alignment. Going back to our radio analogy, think about how you, once having found your desired station, can adjust your radio to perfectly align with that frequency, allowing for clear and seamless reception. Translating this to our consciousness, as we elevate our self-awareness and understanding, it could be feasible that we not only perceive various frequencies around us, but also align our own frequencies with those we wish to engage with. This isn't just about passively listening to a station, but actively participating in the broadcast. Imagine having a conversation not with words, but with thoughts and feelings shared on a frequency that you both are attuned to. It's a kind of communication that transcends language barriers, physical distances, and even time to some extent. Now, this is quite a leap from our current everyday experiences. It's not something we expect to turn on like a switch. It might require practice, discipline, and a deep understanding of our own consciousness. But the cosmic connectivity paradigm suggests that this is a capability that could lie within the scope of human consciousness. Now we need to talk about potential implications. First up is cultivating empathy. Imagine two instruments playing the same melody in perfect harmony. What happens when they play in unison? They don't just sound identical, but they resonate with each other, creating a richer, fuller sound that is more than the sum of its parts. Now, envision this in terms of human interactions. When two individuals tune into the same emotional and mental frequencies, they resonate on a deep, non-verbal level. This resonance isn't about thinking the same thoughts or having identical emotions. Instead, it's about truly understanding the emotional and mental landscapes of each other. This synchronization leads to a profound comprehension of each other's experiences and perspectives. As we align ourselves to the frequencies of those around us, we don't just sympathize, we empathize. We don't just observe emotions from the outside, we feel them from the inside. This is a crucial aspect of the cosmic connectivity paradigm, the capacity for profound empathy. It's like walking a mile in another's shoes, but in the realm of thoughts and emotions. It's about understanding the melody of their inner world by resonating with it, allowing for an unprecedented level of connection and understanding. Enhanced understanding. Imagine a world where miscommunication and misunderstandings are a thing of the past. In this world, we wouldn't just hear each other's words, but we would feel the emotions and understand the thoughts behind those words. We'd see not only from our perspective, but through the eyes of others as well. When we truly comprehend another's emotional and mental frequencies, we gain a unique insight into their inner world. We perceive the world from their viewpoint. Our conversations evolve from a simple exchange of words to a rich interaction of thoughts, feelings, and perspectives. Such a level of understanding would transform how we interact with each other. It would bring harmony to our conversations and unity to our relationships. Disputes born out of miscommunication would diminish, as we would understand the intentions and emotions behind each other's words. This is the promise of the cosmic connectivity paradigm, an enhanced level of understanding leading to harmonious interactions and the potential for a more united world. Establishing deeper connections. In this age of digital communication, many of us yearn for something more profound, more genuine. We long for connections that go beyond the physical, beyond mere words, connections that reach into the depths of our being. Through the cosmic connectivity paradigm, we see the potential for such connections. When we share the same frequencies, we are not just sharing thoughts or feelings, but sharing a part of our being. We're entering into a shared space of consciousness, a space where we are no longer separate individuals, but part of a greater whole. In this shared space, relationships become something extraordinary. They are no longer just about shared interests or common goals. They are about shared experiences, shared emotions, and shared thoughts. These relationships are profound. They are meaningful. They connect us on a level we may have only dreamed of. Such deep connections could change our society. They could bring us closer as a global community, bridge divides, and build bridges of understanding. This is the potential of the cosmic connectivity paradigm, a world interconnected not just through technology, but through consciousness itself. Collective growth and harmony. When we discuss telepathy and the cosmic connectivity paradigm, we're not just talking about individual benefits. We're talking about the potential to reshape our society as a whole. Imagine a world where understanding and compassion are the norm rather than the exception, where conflicts are less frequent because individuals truly comprehend each other's perspectives, where misunderstandings are rare because we can tune into each other's frequencies, not just hear the words spoken. It's a world where empathy isn't just a buzzword, but a way of life. A world where we move together as one, sharing in the highs and lows of our collective experiences. In this scenario, it's not hard to see how shared frequencies could lead to greater harmony and collective growth. We are social creatures by nature. Understanding and empathizing with one another is a crucial part of our societal evolution. The cosmic connectivity paradigm shines a light on this path forward, showing us a future where such profound understanding and connection are possible. The gateway to advanced communication forms. As we embrace the potential of shared frequencies and telepathic communication, we also open the door to even more advanced forms of interaction. After all, each step forward in our understanding of consciousness and energy deepens our ability to connect in ways previously unimagined. Imagine not being limited to words or body language. Picture a world where the totality of our thoughts, emotions, and experiences could be shared directly with one another. This isn't merely about talking without speaking, it's about expressing the full spectrum of our human experience. The shared frequency concept within the cosmic connectivity paradigm could be this gateway. A way forward that begins with empathy, moves towards profound connection, and then steps into the future of advanced communication. This is a future where our collective consciousness flourishes, where individuals come together to form an interconnected web of understanding and compassion. But to get there, we first need to understand and master the mechanics of tuning into shared frequencies. This is our current focus, and as we progress, we'll look further into what lies beyond. Preview of upcoming episode. Within our reach lies a deeper understanding of the universe's energy network, a concept that can be likened to universal Wi-Fi. This network transcends basic communication. It could open up pathways for knowledge exchange and, dare we imagine, even travel. Remember our discussion on telepathy? This universal energy network could be the stage on which the dance of telepathic communication happens, a pulsating, dynamic matrix of shared consciousness. Imagine the possibilities. This energy network could reshape our understanding of consciousness and underline the deep interconnectedness of all beings and things in a profound way. Stay tuned for our next episode, where we invite you to go into the heart of this concept. We'll take this exploration further into the cosmic web. Before we go, Brandon has some closing remarks.
Thanks, Bella. As we close this episode, I want to take a moment to acknowledge the wonderful engagement and conversation we've been having on X, the platform many of us previously knew as Twitter. The insightful views and perspectives you all bring to these conversations contribute to creating a comprehensive and holistic picture of our world. Each one of us holds a piece of this global puzzle, and it's through our collective connections and conversations that we begin to see the whole image take form. I am immensely grateful for your ongoing participation. Your thoughts, ideas, and insights are invaluable as we navigate these deep waters together. I want to extend an invitation to all of you to continue engaging, continue sharing, and continue contributing to these vital conversations. It is through this mutual exchange that we begin to solve the puzzle, leading us to a world that resonates with love at the highest frequency. Thank you for being part of this exploration, and I look forward to continuing these fascinating discussions with you all.